I've been working on this for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and there's a big problem with it. I love my iPod Classic, but it could be better. I don't just want to slap a headphone amp on the back of this iPod. I want to make something that is a bit more solid and something that also has a 6.3 millimeter output, because a lot of headphones at these trade shows will have 6.3. So the starting point is modeling out this iPod. I use Fusion 360 and my 3D printer to make a model that would fit both of these back to back, just as my general starting point. I did that again, and again, and again, and again, and again, and revision after revision, things started improving, until I got what I think is the final model. That wasn't the final model. I had to print it again. And then I had what was the final... I had to print it again after that another time. And then what I had was the final model. Okay, this is prototype number bajillion, and I'm going to put some brass threaded inserts in this thing so we can put it together. This, with only 2 threaded inserts, some through holes on here, for a little cubby that sits on the back and holds my 6.3 millimeter connector, and the components I need to assemble it. This isn't the iPod you were carrying around in 2010, this thing is a tank. You can plug up full-size headphones to this absolute unit. I mean, come on, who doesn't love the feel of an iPod? It's just so satisfying. But I'm not getting sound out of it. And I realized it right before I sat down to start filming this. I've been working on this for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and there's a big problem with it. The Cord Mojo has a 3.5 millimeter input right here, and I didn't notice until the last minute. That says coax. That is not an analog 3.5 millimeter input. That is a digital 3.5 millimeter input. And this, that does nothing at all. So I have made, essentially, an extremely expensive brick. So the question is, what am I going to do now? Well, the only logical thing to do, since I've sunk so much time and money into this already, get a new amp, redesign it, and make it work. Sunken cost fallacy, my... I'm going to take this thing to CanJam SoCal, and I am going to use it there. And it is going to be the most powerful iPod that anyone has ever taken to an audio trade show. Now, the downside is, this video needs to be done in 3 days. The new amp gets here tomorrow, which means from here on out, it's crunch time. My replacement amp is the Topping G5. It's a lot bigger than the Mojo, but it's got a pretty uniform chassis. Most of the ports are on the top, and since we sell it on headphones.com, I was able to get one in very fast. Today's the last day. It's 3 p.m. I need to have this video done tonight and live tomorrow morning. And this is what I've got. It's not the prettiest thing you've probably ever seen, but you know what? It does everything I want it to do. On the bottom, we've got all our ports. I could still use this with my phone if I wanted to. Low, medium, high gain, Bluetooth 3.5mm in, charging ports for both, and synchronizing port for the iPod. Access to all my controls here. Up top, we have this sweet little hard interconnect. Kind of reminds me of like hardline liquid cooling. The hold lock switch for the iPod, 3.5mm, 4.4mm, and the volume knob. I would love to make a much more refined version of this one when I don't have time constraints, because CanJam SoCal is right around the corner. So maybe I'll design a cleaner version of this for New York. But for now, I need to make sure this thing actually works. So I have with me the Headphone HE500, a headphone that is not particularly easy to drive, and I'm just gonna plug it up to the 3.5mm port and hope I didn't mess up twice in a row. That is 100% working. Oh, God, what a relief. So I'm not gonna end up with a 6.3mm on this version. There's just not enough time. But I do have something that's got plenty of power, a clean amplifier, an interface with my library that I love. Because again, who doesn't love iPods? It's somebody. Don't answer that, it's a rhetorical question. And this dump truck of power has its own power supply. It's like a similar footprint to my phone until you turn it sideways. This thing is kind of ridiculous, isn't it? You know what's funny though is this is still smaller than some DAPs I have sitting around here that produce less power than this and have interfaces that I don't like. So you know what, screw it. I call this project a success. That's my iPod Ultra, and I'll make a better version of it in the future. But for now, this one is gonna keep me happy at CanJam SoCal, where if you guys see me out there, check this thing out because, you know, I'll be using it. If you want to make this yourself, I will have the files at the link in the video description. You can download them, print them, do whatever you want, or modify them and make them better, which is probably what I would recommend doing. That, I think, is time to wrap up this video so I can get ready for the show. If you liked it, leave a like down below. Comment, letting me know what you want to see in the future. If you want to get active in the community, you can have the Discord or the forum, both available at the link in the video description. As always, don't forget to stick around, subscribe for more videos like this in the future. Until next one, guys. Peace.